Hi, this is Grandpa. I thought I'd tell you another story about a gerbil. A gerbil is a little mouse kind of creature that is sold in pet stores. Here's a picture of a little white gerbil, just like Benjamin had. When our family was growing up, our kids often had gerbils as pets. I know at least Alan had a gerbil named Snowball, and um, Benjamin had a gerbil named Whiskers. And I want to tell you about Whiskers. Whiskers lived up in this room here. Now it was Keith and Tyler's room most recently, but one time we had two bunk beds in here. And I think Benjamin, Brad, Keith, and Tyler all lived in the same room. Four guys in the same room, if you can believe it. And Benjamin had a gerbil named Whiskers. He kept it in a little aquarium by the window. Here's a picture of a gerbil cage, sort of like we had. It's not the same one though, but you can see there's a little white gerbil in there like Whiskers, and it has some wood chips on the bottom and some water on the side and a little dish with food and some things for the gerbil to play on. You could get the gerbil out and play with you, and it would crawl around the floor and crawl up your arm, and it was small enough you could hold it in your hand, and it was soft and cuddly, and he really liked the gerbil. Part of his job of taking care of the gerbil was to feed it and to put water in its home and give it clean wood chips in the bottom of its cage, kind of, because the gerbil just pooped all over, and he usually pooped in the wood chips, and that got kind of stinky after a while, so you had to clean out the wood chips. Well, so Benjamin did that when we noticed the gerbil's cage needed cleaning. So one day we noticed the gerbil's cage needed cleaning and said, Benjamin, probably should clean up your gerbil's cage. So he decided he was going to be very quick about it and decided he would vacuum up the wood chips out of the cage, and then he'd fill it up with new wood chips and be done in a flash. Well, in our house we have a vacuum that's hooked up to one big vacuum in our basement. They all go through lots of pipes to come up to different rooms. So in this room, you can see we have a vacuum over here, and this is the vacuum. And you plug in your vacuum hose like this into the vacuum. And watch this, if you plug it in there, it can get pretty loud. And then turn it on, and you got a nice vacuum. And here's the other end of one. You can hook it up to lots of different things, but you can see the vacuum goes through here, all along the hose, through all that hose and into the wall. So Benjamin decided he is going to take that vacuum end and stick it in the gerbil's cage and vacuum up the wood chips. And that's exactly what he did. Except he didn't get Whiskers out of the cage first. And so while he was vacuuming up the wood chips, I guess he figured Whiskers would be too big or too smart to get sucked up. But guess what happened? Whiskers got sucked right up into the vacuum. Now, we didn't think he could barely fit in that thing, but he got sucked up into the vacuum, and before Benjamin could turn it off, he went through all the long hose and into the wall. And who knows where? For sure he got killed going into the vacuum. That didn't seem very pleasant. And so we decided that we'd have to go get him. Everyone was very sad about it, especially Benjamin, because Benjamin loved Whiskers, loved playing with him, and loved him like we all love our pets. And so we decided to go look for Whiskers. Well, Whiskers, I'll show you where he went. Through this hose, around and around and around and around and around into the wall, and then in the wall it goes down underneath the floor. The pipes go underneath the floor. You can't see the pipes, but they go underneath the floor all through these rooms, and they connected these other hoses, and then they go downstairs to the next floor. Here we go, we're following where the pipes went. And you can see there's another outlet there on the wall. And they keep going down to the next floor. All the way down here to the basement. This is like a long ways we're going. So we get down here, and then the pipes go through the ceiling, through this room here, and they go into what we call our furnace room. And here, I'll turn the lights on. And you can see up in the ceiling there are some of those vacuum pipes. Probably that one right there. Whiskers came zooming through that pipe and then connected this other pipe, or maybe he went through that pipe, I don't know. And then he went down this pipe here, and he went into this gray container. And inside here, you can take this open, and there is a sack here that collects all the dirt and everything from the vacuum. And you can see it's pretty noisy when you turn it on. Oops. And pretty strong. So guess what? We cut open that sack and looked, and there was Whiskers. He was alive. Whiskers was alive and well inside that little sack. Nobody would have thought that he would have survived. It was amazing. And he took quite the journey, like a roller coaster, through the entire house, through these little pipes at very high speed, being sucked along by the vacuum, and ended up in the dirt bag in the vacuum container. What a story. Well, Benjamin was quite relieved to have Whiskers back, and he put him back in his cage, and he lived for quite a long time, and it was a great story. Here's a picture of Benjamin holding Whiskers. I'm not sure if this was right after this happened, but it's possible because Benjamin looks very happy to have Whiskers safe and sound.